Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai. Call on your Lord. Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yahushai, Bashem Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace, citation, let Shalom. The title of this video is going to be Death is Better Than Bitter Life or Continual Sickness, something to that effect. I'll name the title. So yeah, pretty much like we already know that DMX, if you've been seeing like some of the updates on the news about him, he had he was brain dead in the hospital because of an overdose on drug use. And yeah, I've been knowing that for years, that he had problems with drugs, over time. And that's pretty much everybody's downfall, especially Jake, because the drugs really mess up your mind and they'll make you feel like you're pretty much in a enjoying the peak of your life, when in fact you actually don't know what you're getting yourself into when you use drugs. You know what I mean? Because that's just the beginning of your downfall when you start using it, and then it's like you're gonna be ended up being addicted to it, and now you think that you get the best of you every time when you use it, and it's actually gonna cause you to bring the worst of yourself. So it's kind of some irony there. But people that use it and are addicted to it, they, a lot of them can't really see it. And it's really hard to stop being addicted from it, because now it's like you got that demon on you that notifies you when you have a withdrawal. When you're on your withdrawal, like it notifies you that you gotta keep taking it or some shit, you know. But some people get like to the point where they want to sell all the stuff in their house just to get that drug. Some people go homeless just for the use of drugs, and trying to panhandle people out of their money, trying to ask for money. And some people try to even do crime, and like credit card scamming and even stealing to the point where they could get those drugs. But yeah, so he was pretty much in a vegetable state, like in the hospital, DMX, because like of the overdose on drug use, and he was pretty much considered brain dead. When your brain is dead and your heart is alive, you're alive technically, but it's just that without your brain, which is pretty much where your mind is, and as well as your spirit, you can't really function. It's pretty much like your brain is the that controls your whole body right there, because everything goes back to your brain. When you get pain, it sends nerves to your brain, like the nerve cells start alerting your brain. Yeah, so pretty much the brain is like one of the most important organs in the body. What's the point of living if you don't really have the certain things a human needs to function, right? And that's the brain mainly. And it says right here he died at 50 after suffering catastrophic heart attack, family confirms. The rapper was admitted to a New York hospital on April 2nd following a heart attack and had been on life support since. An autopsy will be conducted to determine his cause of death. So yeah, so he died a week after suffering, a heart attack, it says. Yeah. But I pretty much want to bring out some scriptures about this, because it really shows you that, like, because a lot of people are just ignorant when it's coming to topics like this. A lot of people really think that living your life during the time when you have what you call it, yeah, like when you're continually sick, suffering, whether it be like you recovering from any type of injury or accident and it resulted in you losing your beauty, like you using your original look and you end up looking like you got a mutation or some shit. Yeah, there's some accidents where people that happen to people that cause them to be like that. And I feel like it's worse when it just happened to them, because it's like if they grew up with that, like let's say if they were born with that, I mean, they're already kind of used to being like that growing up. But it's like when it just happened to you, it's like, fuck, man. It's like, you know, you was born in the right state. You was born in like the right human physical state, but then it's like the Most High caused that accident to happen to you to the point where, he had to take something away from you to humble you, you know? So like, whether it be like missing limbs, an accident that caused that, or third degree burns all over your body and shit like that, even catching your face, and it's terrible, man. And some people really stay alive. The Most High keep that spirit on them to be alive, so they have to suffer that. So people would really think that it's best to be alive anyway. Yeah, you be in their shoes and you fucking see how hard it is. You'll see. You would rather be dead than to live like that. You know. Some people think that about the heaven and hell doctrine, that when you die you go to you don't know if you go to heaven or hell. Listen, you catch heaven and hell are just stating conditions, you know. And people confuse the what you call it, the afterlife. Like they confuse, but that's just a title for another lesson, you know. There's no such thing as hell. There's no such thing as a place where you burn forever. That's a Greek myth, you know. So I'm gonna get into some scriptures now. I don't know to die, y'all can be edified. Let me start at Ecclesiasticus 30 verse 14. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Exactly. Wasn't DMX like rich? I mean, over time he started losing some of his riches, because like he wasn't really doing that much, but he was really like he was big at first, And the thing is that that's something you gotta realize with a lot of people. They especially when it's coming to Jake, because Jake feel like, oh, they making millions, they making big money, and then you got other Jakes that are like poor that look up to him, you know, that are pretty much like low income, level Jakes. They will look up to him and say like, yo, they want to be like him, they want to have that money, and it's like, how you gonna, what you gonna do with that money? How you gonna make more? You know, they don't do the other like business activities and stuff like that to help them keep flipping their money and try to like, learn about, real estate or stocks and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like they just spending their money like they're, pretty much like a billionaire. Like they're spending their money like they got it like that. And it's like they don't live. If they lived like probably like a basic lifestyle, learning how to flip the money over time and stuff like that, till they reach a certain amount. And if they knew how to be wise with their spending, they wouldn't be in such a situation where they lose all that money. But yeah, pretty much verse 15 says, health and good estate above body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. So yeah, it's pretty much like when you have a good health and a good estate of your body, like you're physically fit, like you're not really like all that fat, you're pretty much like normal, like you know you're not too skinny, you're not too fat, you're like in the middle, that's pretty good. And then when you have like good health, not only with your physical health but your mental health, like which is also spiritual health too, that right there, that's that's the most important part, your mental health, because Because let's say the Most High could really plague you with, with demons, right? That would really fuck your mind up. And them demons, like, they don't work like humans. Humans, when they come around, right? Let's say if it's a criminal or somebody like, some wicked ass nigga, that come around, they do some fuck shit to you. Nah, when a demon comes around, that demon's staying there for God knows how long. The Most High will set up pretty much a time period for when he could come and when he could leave. And it's like he could have it to where you could only see the demon and nobody else sees it. And everybody else is like, what? I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing. He could have it to that level, and people suffering sleep paralysis, and that shit ain't no fucking joke. Because I pretty much experienced that, I think like twice or whatever. But it's pretty much no joke when shit like that happens. And sometimes when you're in the truth, that's something that you may experience every now and then or every once in a while or something like that. You just gotta call the name of Yahweh Shem Yashai. A lot of people don't really have those names. And a lot of people don't really have this truth. So they're not really like protected from, spiritually. And then you got some people out there that are real life fuck with the left hand side, thinking that side is to be trusted. And that's mostly like, you got heathens doing that, like, Edomites mainly, and then you got you got even Jake, some of them fucking around with that, and when you see like out of all Jakes, Levites, they get heavy into that shit, with the voodoo, and then you got the Latina and Hispanics, the Latino and Hispanic tribes, they doing that shit too, fucking around with that shit as well. And this literally showing you that about like people getting haunted and stuff, and they literally have documentaries about these things. So Esau telling you that, oh, it's just your imagination, oh, you're just seeing things. Motherfucker, there's people in the mental hospital, in the asylums, and they tell you straight from what they see. You hear thousands of them, they will tell you they will see demons, they will hear voices, they will that's how you know there's some shit behind it. That's how you know there's a spiritual realm. They could tell you what you get put in their shoes. You fucking see. But let's see. It says right here, cause it's like, infinite wealth. Like, let's say you rich, like you got mad bread, like you like a Rothschild, a Rockefeller, and you fucked up in the mind. You be like, damn, I'd rather be a homeless bum on the street with a sound mind. Yeah. Because like I said, spirits are interdimensional beings, so they don't rest like humans. They will keep going. They will go at you 24/7. Wherever you go, it's like, that's why you literally see some crazy people out there that they literally go out there talking to themselves. They literally go out there having a whole conversation with themselves like it's normal. So they would literally do that. Like this, like they on like it's some cartoon show, and then you see the character talking to himself out there or whatever. Like, nah, they literally do some shit like that. Some crazy people, and you don't understand. Like there's a spiritual realm behind this, and it's like they're literally contacting, like talking to spirits or whatever, because they're bugged out their mind. And it says right here, verse 16, there's no riches above a sound body and no joy above the joy of the heart. Exactly. So it shows you that your physical health and that's why this is saying that goes, your health is your wealth. That's a saying right there. So look at Stephen Hawkins. When you look at that guy has ALS. And there's actually like cures to these things. Esau try to lie and say it's not, and Stephen Hawkins, like before he died, he had like 20 million as his net worth. He was like a very rich. I think he was a professor. I think at first, and then you know, I think he worked mostly on the field of science. He was very intelligent in the world. I'm talking about with worldly knowledge. Because when it's coming to this knowledge, he wouldn't understand a damn thing. And then he pretty much like he couldn't really move like his limbs because the only part that he could move and it was slightly was his cheek. Because yeah, when you have ALS, you can't really move your muscles. Your muscles can't function, so you're like in a vegetable state, and you will need like a wheelchair, that will assist you pretty much, like the technology that will assist you. And you go in the Amazon or wherever where people live. You go out there in the on the islands or whatever, and you'll see people that don't really have problems like this, like where they have all this type of diseases like that limits their muscle usage, and because it's like the lifestyle that Americans live, they don't really eat right. And then it's like some of them use drugs or whatever, prescription drugs, and that fucks up your mind too, the prescription drugs. And then they use the which is like, or in other words, over the counter drugs. And then they have like drugs that actually are pretty much the street drugs, so it's like they doing all type of crazy shit to fuck with their mind. And eventually it's gonna fuck with your body too, because it's like you're gonna see some parts of your body looking dry, like the normal parts of it looking like it's really been like fucked up. Like you're gonna see like, damn, you'll be like, wow, that person really going through it. That person that's a demon, attacking you through that drug. Because demons look for like weak-minded individuals. They look for people that are easy vessels, to control. They're like hackers, like spiritual hackers in a way. And it tells you this is verse 17: death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. So if you continually suffering, like you in the ICU and you feeling all that pain and you can't move or say nothing, but you will want to die. You will want to die. That's you catching like the most hell on this earth. For you to be in a condition where you can't speak, you can't say nothing, you can't move, and it's like you just feeling pain. You're just in a vegetable state. Yup, that's the worst. And it can happen to anybody. That's the thing. A lot of people look at it and say, "Oh, it's not gonna happen to me. It's not gonna happen to me." And motherfucker, it's gonna happen. It could happen. And the Most High love proving people wrong. So, you got scoffers out here that really think that they're gonna live their life like nothing is ever gonna happen, nothing bad's gonna ever happen to them. And DMX, in a way, he kind of did live a wicked life because, he didn't do right. And that's why brothers been making videos, when he was in the ICU, saying, yo, don't make no tarrying to the Lord. Once you find out about this truth, once you know who you are as a nation of people, you must like, get to knowing this thing and change your wicked ways. Your own way, your own mortal ways is not gonna work against the Heavenly Father's ways. He's just not gonna let certain things go by smoothly. That's why you see a lot of these rappers, they have, they trying to live their life like a Edomite. They trying to live wicked and they trying to live lavish. Like, nah, you having that money is gonna make you feel like that. But then at the end of the day, society is gonna show you that you just a regular nigga. You still a nigga. You still gonna get treated like one. And then they're gonna show you like that with the cops. And then you got some cops that don't like it when you got that money, when you were Jake. And they're gonna pretty much like arrest you and shit. They wanna charge you, for drug possession and for you know, they just want to charge you for anything, out there, you know. So pretty much in the society, it shows you that's why you gotta follow the Lord, and then you have to follow after His righteous ways. Things not gonna go well if you do your own thing, especially even if you're rich, as a Jake, even if you got millions. So, yeah, and I'm gonna bring out a few more scriptures too. See, and this is why the Lord said this in Ecclesiastes 25, verse 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Well, and this shows you why the Apocrypha is really like one of the most important parts of the Bible as well, because it will show you, it will be like another, like Ecclesiasticus and Wisdom of Solomon is like another Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, if you will, because it shows you like a lot of life lessons. They show you like a lot of things like that you could connect to your life, and you could connect to other people's lives, and you see examples like the example I just showed you and how it's tied along with these precepts. So basically, people in the world, they can't see shit like this because they're too fucking blinded, and the Most High have it to where like certain people could see like maybe certain things of the scriptures, but they still don't have this full understanding of the scriptures, like how we do in this truth. But they could see like certain lessons, point out to certain things, so, and that's how the Bible is. And the Lord even said in like verse 13 was say like, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. So like they said any plague but the plague of the heart. So any like physical plague, except the plague of the mind. Because I say you're in a good, well body and you plagued in your mind. That's the worst, man. You seeing shit and hearing shit you don't want to see, and hearing shit you don't want to hear. Especially when you're by yourself, or or you want to be at peace. That's why you have some people that legit want to be around. They always want to find themselves around people, and it's usually like celebrities. You'll see like that too. That's why when this lockdown happened, these celebrities, they were pissed, man. They were like, hell no, they can't handle this type of thing. They always wanted to find themselves out the house. They always want to find themselves in a crowd. They always want to find themselves around certain people. Like that tension. And then it's like you got people like that that are not even famous too. Because you got just some people just bugged out their mind. And celebrities, they doing all that left hand side shit. So of course they're gonna be like that. When you sell your soul to the devil, signing your contract on blood, selling it to to these record companies, being a slave to them basically. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. And most of the time niggas don't read the contract. And the same goes, you could buy a nigga cheap. So yeah, they really don't understand. And that's the title for another lesson, that any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. But the plague of the heart, your heart is the most powerful thing. That's why they say your worst enemy could be is yourself, because everything you do, you're responsible for everything you do in your life. Who you have around you, you're responsible for that. You're the one who chooses that, who you want to be in your life. And eventually, you will learn these things over time. You'll grow up and be like, all right, I went through this and that, dealing with these type of niggas when I was younger. So, and I've been mistreated. So I don't want to live like that no more. I don't want to be having to deal with niggas like him anymore. And you're going to eventually learn, you're going to know how to move, and eventually, and you're gonna use, wisdom. Now, let's say you getting to let's say like, you your worst enemy when it's coming to like, the peer pressure shit. Yeah, that too. Because you're the one, you have to decide whether you want to do something righteous or whether you doing something wicked. And you know how they say the flesh pretty much has like, it gives us like that conflict with the spirit. Because the spirit is righteous, is tended to be righteous, but the flesh is tended to be wicked. You know, that's like one of the conflicts that you got. So, but pretty much like the title, the point of the lesson has been made. Can't really like think of any other scriptures right now. So with that, I'd like to give all glory and praise on to, I don't know, how about Shem Shamalaki, how about Shem Kakadash, the honest, the bosses and elders, but no stone, pizza, teach them for luck. Yeah, how about Shem Yasha, Shalak Rayam, Arawam Yam, Wa, Goayam, Wa, Abababa, Shalom.